Yeah, mate, here you go. Welcome, welcome. Oh, yeah, mate. Sorry, me.
Just for the crowd,
it's not in the program.
Or a moment silence for John McWardle from the Spotswood United club who passed away last week. So we'll have a moment silence for Rick Paul from Spotswood United. Thank you.
Yeah. And we go through on live now. We're live now.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Flockers and supporters.
Well, a warm welcome to Vogeltown Park today, and the main headline game in the CMK Division 1 Taranaki rugby competition, and obviously a minute's silence for a departed player, and good to see the crowd respectful. And fantastic conditions here at Vogeltown Park today. Nice sunny day. It's been pretty warm all day. There's a light breeze that will favour the old boys team, who are kicking off.
Go boys, from this kickoff. Maxie, Jacko, get up there.
And it'll be an interesting game. Old boys extremely disappointed to lose their first round game to Spotswood over the other side of town, and it's a big pack Spotswood have brought to Vogeltown Park today, that's for sure. So the referee gets the game underway, and straight away Warwick Lemur takes a good catch, puts it back downtown, and taking about 6-7 metres outside is 22. Braden Northcott Hill, good up and under actually, puts a lot of pressure on. And a good nudge there actually by the left winger from Spotswood. And good charge actually. So a bit of aerial ping pong at the moment. Ooh, slightly head-eye tackle, the referee's called it. So we've been unlucky really, because Warwick Lemur involved heavily in the play then. Took a couple of up and unders, and the second one he ducked, just as the Old Boys Premier's number 13 today, Liam McBride, chased the ball and head high, and then Spotswood knock it into touch. So no running play at all at the moment, it's all been kicking, and both teams just sounding each other out. So Spotswood to the line out, easy win by number 2, Lemur sees a small hole in the line out, chugs up towards the Old Boys 22, good little run there by Warwick, stepped nicely into the hole, and I think number 3 from Spotswood, he carries quite high, that's Matthew Tupa, and good hit on him actually. So Spotswood just recycling the ball in the first 5 seasons for the first time, straight out into the centres. Second 5 charges up, sets up, and a great pass here from the halfback. Player does well to keep it under control, and Spotswood go down the left-hand side again. There was nothing on though. There was 3 players against 4 at the first 5. Josh Jacob, he decides to have a kick, and Spotswood recycling the ball out to their big number 8, and that's a good charging run, great acceleration. Good hit by Sean Wade, offload to number 2. He's up at 10 metres out from this good counter ruck though from Old Boys number 7. And fantastic play, actually. I hope he hasn't hurt himself, but Levert went to the ground, or went to get the ball off the ground, and the number 7 for Old Boys came charging in and just cleaned him out and recycled the ball for Old Boys. So really good play there, actually. The number 8, Johnny Faletagosoi Malasi, tapped down by Spotswood. Number 13 has a bit of a charge. Northcote Hill has him tied up. And well done there by the Old Boys number 13, number 12 rather today, Regan Verney. Got over the ball quite quickly and was able to secure a turnover. So good defensive play from Old Boys. Good charging run by the number 8, and they went from under their posts. Clearance kick by Northcote Hill, and he's just cleared another one. So Old Boys edged the way into Spotswood territory. And obviously with the penalty, they'll get the throw into the line out. So Spotswood a couple of runs. They're just charging up in the midfield at the moment, just testing the structural defence, I suppose you'd call it, of the Old Boys side. And not a lot of depth in their play, which means that guys are probably not running at full gas. Good offload there, Verney straight into a solid tackle by the 6, and the Spotswood 12 does well to recycle the ball. Good out by Wade, actually. Lovely pass. And good call by the Spotswood fullback. Called it nice and early. That's Therese Radahi. And he lets himself down because, unlike rugby league, in rugby you've got to do a clear tap, and obviously didn't do it. So he's gifted the ball to Old Boys about 15 metres out from the Spotswood goal line, and just to the right hand side of the goalpost. So it'll be interesting what Old Boys have got set up here. The backs are lined out at the left. The halfback and the number 8 are interchanging looks, which typically means there could be a blindside play. And they've got plenty of space actually, because the Old Boys winger, number 14, Jackson Carrington, is staying well wide actually, and he's just dragging both the centre and the Spotswood winger. And there just seems to be a massive hole between the Spotswood scrum and the first defender. So if they do go that way, the flanker's going to have to cover some ground. Easy play, dummy play to the right, big shoulder there from the Spotswood 12, no whack at all, but referee said it was a fair hit. Good pass, got numbers here, Old Boys should be just catching passing in the corner. And actually good hustle over on the far side there by the Spotswood right winger. Looked like a simple 2-on-1, but the Old Boys player went a wee bit wide and put his foot on the touch. So Spotswood have the defensive line out. But it's good play there by Old Boys. Good solid scrum. And number 8 flicked the ball to his back line. And it was pretty much just catch and pass down the left-hand side of the paddock. So good throw by Spotswood, a good one there by their big number 4, who today is Cullen McDonald. And Spotswood get a wee bit of a drive on. Well organised by their number 9, Warwick Lemert. And Lemert gets away, clearing kick under a bit of pressure from the Spotswood hooker, the Old Boys hooker. That's Victor Beach. Yeah, good reach up there by the big Old Boys lock, Brent Tucker. The throw was a wee bit rough, but Old Boys charged around the short side of the line out. And then nice carry actually by the number 7. And Waite throwing out a nice bullet actually. tip play onto the number 8. He takes on the defence. They've got numbers here. If they can call it, good run back in. Oh, he loses control of the ball though. And number 6 flicks to the 9. And with the fullback up, he just kicks it downtown. Referee saying advantage over. And Adam Smith doesn't muck around. Doesn't want to take on the Spotswood winger. So he just nails it into touch. And Spotswood did really well there actually. Hard on the line from the line out. Good driving maul. A couple of good clearing kicks by Lemire. And Spotswood got possession. About 8 metres inside the Old Boys. At that time the referee. And Old Boys had the numbers wrong. So Lemire's away. Nobody really charging at him at all. Pretty easy 10 metres there for the halfback, the ex-New Zealand Sevens player. Out to the 10, he's well wrapped up by the 2 loose forwards. And a good tip play to number 5, he's going to stretch his legs, is he? Yeah, good inside out run actually. And Old Boys are over the ball. And I would say that Old Boys has probably won this actually, carried him straight over the ball. Not a lot of support from the Spotswood lock. He had a good run. I went to ground and Sean Ray just knocking it down the blind side. Not a lot of pressure on the 15. Yeah, nice touch. And great left foot kick down the paddock. Not out. And good clearance kick by Northcott Hill. So not great Spotswood passing because they had a wee bit of space on the right hand side there. But they've got good numbers through here. Number 10 having a charge. Good defensive tackle there by Tucker. Number 4 takes back the other side. And a bit of bad luck there actually. Vernie got a fingertip to the play. But the referee going right back to an offside by the Old Boys back line. So what happened when the number 10, Brake Northcott Hill, cleared the ball from his own line, he never came far enough forward to put his own men on side. They were within the 10 metres. So the referee showed his willingness to see a running game because that was a really long advantage. And the Spotswood captain shows his expertise by saying, hey ref, rather than the penalty, why don't we take the scrum up? And Spotswood have marched all the way up to the Old Boys goal line. About 5 metres out, they've got an attacking scrum. So the big number 8 for Spotswood look quite lively. I would say that he'd be having a run. Not need to. It's a good push by Spotswood. They got a really great push. Nice straight scrum. Good control. Loses at the last minute. Out to the second 5. Good defensive pressure there from the Old Boys. Lemire there quickly flicks it up to the 7. He skips through a tackle. And looks like he's over the line actually. If he can wiggle his way down. Yes, he does. So well done Spotswood. They certainly showed the weight and the strength advantage they've got up front because that was an excellent scrum. The forwards just about took the number 8 completely over the goal line. He lost control at the last minute. Lemire flicked it out to the second 5. He had a bit of a dab. And the lively number 7 for Spotswood. It's Tristram Lemire. And he looked quite good actually. He picked up the ball, stepped around the defender and just chugged away at the goal line. Finally got some players in behind him and that was a 5-point try to Lemire. So well done Spotswood. And the number 10 for Spotswood, Josh Jacob, he adds extra points. So 14 minutes of play here at Vogeltown Park, and it's actually a really, really warm day. The wind's fallen away completely, and Spotswood jump to a 7-0 lead.
United converted by Josh Jason. Spotswood United 7. BTD Group and the Old Boys 0.
Come on, boys, fucking get up.
So kick off, and there's finally a bit of pressure going up. Good pressure from the Old Boys 7 actually. Lemert drops it onto halfway but doesn't find touch. Flicks it into Northcott Hill. He's having a look and seeing what's available. Out to Adam Smith. He charges over the halfway. Good clean out there from Old Boys. Not sure how that happened, but Spotswood were able to get the ball back on their side. They're certainly playing the territory game, well taken there by the Old Boys 14, Jackson Carrington. And back to Sean White, and he knocks it into touch. So no mucking around today. Well done, Warwick Lemert, straight in. That's a great pass from the 14 actually over to the number 8. Good tackle coming in there. Ball bounces backwards. And that's a great left foot nudge by the Spotswood fullback. Takes play right back into the 22. There's not much here on for the 7. Feeds back to Smith, the fullback. He's got a lovely punt actually. So well done Spotswood, you did about another 90 seconds of running there and opened the game up a wee bit. So back to a Spotswood line out, 10 metres inside the Old Boys half. Not a great looking throw in terms of straightness, but the referee said play on, straight out to the 12. Oh, missed pass there, if he can scoop and go. He slips over, and on the far side there, that's David Stark. Straight charge by Tucker. Zigzag back to the other side, and puts Verney into a slight hole. Just struggling to turn. Just gets trapped with his body facing the same way, and Lemert says thanks very much, we'll take that. And chuck it back, and here's a big Spotswood number 5. Well recovered by the Old Boys number 8. And that number 5, man, has he got some, it's Torrance Reid, has he got some toe? And no advantage to Old Boys, the referee saying that Spotswood didn't maintain any position behind the last pair of feet, so got themselves offside. Kind of interesting rugby at the moment. Both teams are trying to get into a wee bit of structure, but not really happening. Some of the skills aren't that fantastic. Spotswood winger probably had an opportunity on the far side, but not a great pass. And then possibly the Old Boys winger took too long to pick up the ball. He perhaps should have just hoofed it with his left foot down the field, because there's certainly no defensive players back for Spotswood at all. So Old Boys take your time with the line out. Down the back, it's going to no one. Second take goes to the open side, but he's deemed to have knocked it on. It's actually the Spotswood hooker, that's Matt Goodwin, the captain. So a bit of bad luck there actually. He showed some good speed off the back of the line out. Wasn't able to claim the ball, and the referee said, hey, you knocked it on when you're on the ground. So interesting game from a points point of view, 7-0 to Spotswood, but of course, unfortunately with that incident a couple of weeks ago, Spotswood lose a couple of competition points, or 5 competition points, I think in total. So they're going to fight their way back up the ladder, while Old Boys really keen to win today because they want to get closer to that top 4. So good out actually from the number 8, straight to Brayton Hill. He runs hard. Good catch and pass there from Regan Verney. Bit of a kick through, but I don't think it's going to be on. And this fullback's got a great left foot. So the referee calls a head-eye tackle. And it was probably a pretty fair one actually. Liam McBride charged hard at the gap, and the defensive player came across and Looked like he was falling, but it was clear head contact there. And you could probably tell that there's clear head contact because McBride is no longer wearing his headgear and just has to readjust it now. So a good move there by Old Boys. It's twice they've had the halfback run open side, and the number 8 under a wee bit of pressure from Lemert, the Spotswood halfback. He passed out a nice ball to Brayton Northcott Hill, and the difference with that play I think was Northcott Hill showed a wee bit of gas and ran hard at the line, so committed his man and just opened up a wee bit of space for the second 5 and centre. So a good take from Brent Tucker, and out to Sean Waite. He has a charging run, places the ball nicely out to the number 8, and here's the flanker, Jaden Ford, and Old Boys on a bit of a roll now, actually charging, and yes, well done. It looks like Tucker, who was right at the start of that move with a great line out take and good, well organised drive. And actually it's the number 7, Michael Lofty, comes up with the ball. Good to see him running hard actually. He had a bit of a quiet opening 10 minutes, but the last 5 minutes or so he's been a lot more prominent because of his speed around the ground. He's starting to put a bit of pressure on, and that was great play actually. He just bided his time. The first incursion was from Sean Waite, who sniped really well from the ruck and dragged a couple of Spotswood defenders with him, and then opened up a small hole for Michael Loft to run through. So good play by Old Boys actually.
So try to get Old Boys converted.
So 7-all here at Vogeltown Park.
Spotswood United 7. Also like to thank our pub sponsor Pack and Safety Plymouth and the match day sponsor Taranaki Electrical Services.
So 7-all could be anyone's half this half. Very good kickoff actually from the number 10, Josh Jacob. And pretty good take actually by Thomas McElroy. Old Boys just give themselves a wee bit of space. Wait, once again a high up and under. Fullback looking into the sun. Good pressure, good chase actually. Able to step away from 2 defenders before McElroy nails him in a good tackle. And then Spotswood are into it. Good charging run at the line. A lot of line speed from the Old Boys actually at the moment. They just seem to be holding the man, and good run there by the 14. He's out the back door. He's put some space in, and that was relatively easy actually. Good bruising run down that right hand side. So that was the Spotswood 13 that scored, TJ Arney, but it was off the back of some clever play by the number 14, Paul Perez, and he did a little out the back door pass, and Spotswood race back into the lead with a really well taken try after 22 minutes of time, and they go to 12-7 with the kick to come. So taking his time, Josh Jacob. He looks a likely kicker, striker of the ball. Yeah, that's a fantastic kick right from the sideline. Raises the flags here at Vogeltown Park, and Spotswood go to 14 to New Plymouth Old Boys 7. And some of the players are starting to puff a wee bit because it's very, very hot now at Vogeltown Park. Unbelievably warm weather for this time of year. And Northcote Hill kicks off again. Good chase this time by the Old Boys. Yeah, good tackle actually. Pass goes loose, pressure up. Basketball pass over the top. That's more like it from Old Boys. And the winger there, David Stark, he hit the guy pretty hard, but he just flicked it out of the guy's hands. So Spotswood get the recovery. The number 8 has a big charge and run. He's got great acceleration. He just seems to take off from nowhere and make some pretty easy meters. And here's Warwick Lemieux outside his 22. Can't afford to go to touch. A couple of those players look like they're offside. There's no point mucking around. And theoretically, it should be a quick tap. It is. And Old Boys have got some numbers here. They can spin the ball at Northcott Hill. Taken over to Carrington. He does very well recycling the ball. Back to Waite. And good carry by Michael Loft there, number 7. So it's a bit of a mismatch out wide actually. Don't know why, but Spotswood have got numbers right out the left or the right hand side of defensively. The referee's arm's gone up for a penalty. Carry there by the Old Boys prop, Blake Morgan. And Verney tries to muscle his way up. Gets stripped of the ball and the referee says, hey Spotswood, you're living offside at the moment. So, and there's probably been enough of those where the referee's going to talk to the captain, Matt Goodwin, and say, hey Matt, we want open running rugby, and you guys are not getting themselves back on side. So it looks like Old Boys have decided to take 3 points. They've called for the kicking tee. So a couple of good matchups in this game actually. The 2 number 7s, Tristan Lemieux. He's had a strong game so far, and he's up against Old Boys Michael Loft. And he's really got into his work the last 10 minutes, Loft. He's chased everything. And he's actually creating a bit of pressure on the Spotswood kicking game, and that's making a bit of a difference actually. So Northcott Hill scores the 3 points and slips over at the same time, but he's not worried about that. So good build up by Old Boys actually, and justly rewarded with some points on the board. So the score jumps to 14-10 after about 27 minutes of play. It's a bit of a messy take there, big call by Tucker, but he never got under the ball, and Old Boys let it bounce. But able to keep control of it, and it's a great clearance kick from Northcott Hill. From 10 metres outside his goal line, and takes the ball to the 10 metre line, so it's a good 30 metre nudge for him actually. And Spotswood decide to go to a short line out. Over the top, and Sean Waite there, nice kick, fantastic kick, read that perfectly. Saw that the throw went too long, took it easily on the 15, and then Spotswood running up to put a bit of pressure on him, but a massive gap opened up, and just clever enough to do a roll-on grubber kick that picks up the 30-odd metres for his team. And now Spotswood inside the 22, throwing the ball up, Tucker goes up, it's a good take. It's a big carry, and that's tremendous tackle by Sean Waite. Just came off the back of the line out, took the number 8 right around the legs, and they dropped the Spotswood first 5 onto his left foot, and it's a good little nudge actually, but he takes play just outside the 22. So Old Boys end up with field position, and it's their throw to the line out. And off the Spotswood player, the charging run there by the number 8, not held, so he has another go. And good clearance there, flicks it out to Morgan. Probably not the right guy you want to carry in that position. Possibly a loose forward might have added a wee more punch, but the old boys' props are getting into the work because that's a good carry by Toby Burkett. And the forwards go again. They're just sort of eating up some metres around the side. And there's a deep run by Adam Smith, passes it out to number 7 Loft. He's got nowhere to go, and they've got no halfback at the moment. He's winded. In fact, it looks like it's going to be a leg problem. So they jump into halfback, and there's actually just no backs whatsoever out there for old boys. Having a guy cover halfback. And Bernie jumped in there, so everyone's looking around saying, hey, where's our midfield? And both of them were tied up at the ruck. Meanwhile, Sean Waite's down on a knee, and the referee says, hey, Spotswood, you're offside again. And what he's done is he's yellow carded the guy, so there must have been a general team warning. And Spotswood are saying, well, hang on, if we're going to have a yellow card, you better correctly identify the player. And the referee has picked up the big number 4 for Spotswood. It's Caleb McDonald. He's had a good solid game so far. Came in quite aggressively at the ruck for a clean out, but he came in a bit of a funny angle, and I think the referee was saying, hey, it's a legal entry. And it was pretty much a general team warning earlier from the offside play. So that leaves Northcott Hill to chip it over from out in front. And some good play there from Old Boys actually. They're down to 14 men. Their halfback is on the ground. He's back up again running now.
Update score, Spotswood 14, BCD group from the Old Boys 13.
So 14-13 to Spotswood against BCD group, New Plymouth Old Boys Premiers.
Metro sponsor TRFU Electrical Services.
Good take there by the Old Boys. Lock actually did the right thing. He jumped in the end last minute, so the Spotswood player couldn't collide into him. A good carry, a good clean actually. There's another lovely kick. Fullback's well placed. Takes it out. It's not probably late for his troubles. And the referee's asking the touch judge, wasn't a late charge. Getting a bit of a hard time with the touch judge because of course he indicated it was Spotswood's ball when it was Old Boys' ball. And nice play, Old Boys. That's a great play. The number 5, the lock, Thomas McElroy just spun and fed the 7 on the charge, but the referee called it went forward. That was really clever play. It was a nice lift. There's a small hole there for Loft to go into. So a few innovations actually coming in. Just not quite the right execution. The thinking's there. So Spotswood, of course, with only 7 men in the scrum. Be interesting to see how they go. Hasn't been too many scrums. They appear to have a clear advantage, Spotswood, or have had a clear advantage. And they've put their open side flanker into lock. So Lamert to feed the scrum. 10 kicks straight down to Smith. And good drop punt by him actually. He finds a good touch halfway. No pressure on him whatsoever, so a bit of a wasted ball actually. The 10 for Spotswood, Josh Jacob, virtually just kicking straight down his throat, and it was a pretty easy catch and kick. And Old Boys have pushed Spotswood back to just inside their own half. And Spotswood throw to the line. We'll have a close look at this line out because they've been struggling a wee bit with the throws. So it's a much better throw, looks a lot more accurate. Once again, Waite's doing a mountain amount of work in the back of the line out. He's acting as a loose forward. So a good charging run once again by that Spotswood number 8. By the 6 actually. Number 8's got it now. He attacks the line. Makes some really hard meters. Lemire ducks around the blind side. Good little pop-up pass to the prop. Players came charging in. The hooker stayed on the sideline. Here's a good charging run. Great play there by Old Boys. And that's the lock. Who did really, really well. So that's Thomas McElroy. He just hung in there, just hit by about 3 different Spotswood players. It was over the ball. The referee said he had clear rights to it, so it's not out. It's flicked back in by the Spotswood fullback, and the number 10 goes back to collect it. And that's a great clearance kick by him actually. So he takes play from inside his 22 to just outside the Old Boys 22. And some quick play there by Northcote Hill and out to Waite, and they add a few metres, and now Old Boys have finally got a wee bit of space, and they've got some, well, they had some there, but the centre decides to kick it. Fullback given way too much time with the ball, just knocks it back down the touch. He's got a great kick. He's picked up a 30-metre kick. It'd be interesting if not a lot of space there at all if he skips out of one tackle. And well done there, Brayton Hill. He was able to manipulate the ruck to keep the ball. Waite ducks down the blind. Might have been a bit of a high tackle there by big number 3. The referee said it's fine. Good play there. Spotswood players are coming and hunting out the tackles now actually, but Old Boys have got numbers. So good run there by Loft. Just needs quick ball now though and jump down that blind side because they've got a mismatch. They've got 3 forwards against backs. Good play here. And there's finally the winger gets a bit of a run, feeds it back into the big lock Brett Tucker. And Spotswood do well, get over the ball. In fact, there's a turnover play. And no mucking around there. Lemire knew exactly where the space was. Drops it back. And no option there but for Brayton Hill to take the ball to touch. He's going to hang on to it because Spotswood want to go fast. So a lot of players breathing heavily at the moment. That heat, that sun's disappeared a wee bit, but it's certainly the last 7 or 8 minutes have been open running rugby, which is great to see. It's a big crowd here today at Vogeltown Park, both teams well supported, and it's the Matt Goodwin feeds into the line out, and Spotswood, they just want to get themselves ready. They're up quite high, but they've got numbers there. They're just going to go for the big drive. They've got good control. And I think Old Boys have slid underneath the number 8, and they'll be disappointed with that Spotswood because they did really well. They had great shape in that drive, and well done Old Boys. Might have been their big prop. Toby Burkett was able to get under the play, and of course he couldn't force it over the line, so the referee said held up and 5-metre scrum to Spotswood. So it'll be interesting what Spotswood do from this play. Their second 5 and centre have primarily just charged up, but their fullback, Radahi, he looks pretty handy actually. He's got good speed and good acceleration. We haven't seen the number 11, Poniani Batanini, at all, but Lemire takes down the blind side. And good charge actually from the winger. I'd have to say pretty average defence there from Old Boys. Their number 11, David Stark, we disappointed with that. He just didn't come off his line at all, and gave the Perez on the right-hand wing, he gave him plenty of space, way too much space actually, and he was able to use his strength and his size to bust his way over the line. So not what Old Boys wanted, so close to half-time, but well done Spotswood.
Try to Spotswood United. They lead 19-13 over BCG group from the Old Boys of the pick to come. Would all the Colts players please come into the club rooms at half-time for their speeches and meals? All the Colts teams at half-time, speeches and meals, please.
So the first 5 lights taking his time. He's technically got a minute, but he's probably eaten up a couple. The referee's pretty relaxed about it. And Josh Jacob, he got one. He got a conversion earlier from virtually the same spot. So no charge from the Old Boys players at all. I'd say they're just waiting for the half-time whistle. And once again, a great nudge, so well worth the wait. So well done. That's 4 valuable points that Jacobs pulled out for his team with 2 sideline conversions.
Try converted by Spotswood United. They lead 21-13 over BCG group from the Old Boys, not far from half time.
So they're just looking a bit flat at the moment, Old Boys, so they might be a bit shell-shocked. With how Spotswood win, that's a great kick-off day, Midfield, and good pressure there. Taking that down by Lemire, wasn't picked up by the referee. I'm quite surprised the touches have been called that. Number 8 good offload out to the captain and hooker. And out to the number 12, he has a bit of a dab. Great tackle there, no mucking around actually by the Old Boys loose forward, Jaden forward. He's played a bit of second 5 in midfield himself, so he knows what those tackles are like. Well freed up, ball pops out. Yeah, good play there by Perez, skips through the passes out to the centre, he knocks it on. Pulls it all over the show at the moment. And Big Adam Smith decides he's going to take it out. Held up by the Spotswood 10, around the scruff of the neck. And big collision there from the Spotswood 6 against Vernie. He looked a bit pissed off, Vernie, because, excuse the French, because there was certainly no arms in that at all. And took a massive charge from the 6. Looked at him and said, hey, is that all you got, mate? So, interesting way to finish the half. So we were even disappointed with that, Old Boys. They just lacked a wee bit of composure. Probably not enough penetration down the flanks. And I think that what they're going to have to do this half is just spread the ball a wee bit wider and move that big Spotswood pack around the paddock a bit. Quite a few of their guys are blown at the moment, so it might be the team that's fittest is the team that takes away the game today as we settle into half-time at Bogletown Park.
Is that off? Yep. Okay. Not riveting on too much at all?
No, mate.
Jesus Christ, he's stuck down the left-hand side, mate. He's done nothing.
I was, I don't know how many knock-ons that we missed. Hey?
Yeah, that was a big one right there.
So what's the score?
They're up by 1 and 7, they're up by 8. So it's got to be,
Still not working.
we've got 15.
That's okay. We can't make that many.
We need a pin, though. Nothing in your bag?
Nah, sorry, I was looking before.
No, that's all right. So what is the score?
Have a look around the corner on the scoreboard. Yeah.
Geez, now the temperature's dropped.
21-13.
21-13, half time.
Yeah. 8-point game.
Shit, he's missed some knock-ons.
Yeah.
Oh no, right, he missed that one right down here in the kickoff. And he missed that one with Lemieux at the back of the right. I think he was playing advantage.
Yeah.
But still, if you're playing advantage and the guy knocks it on, then you've got to go back to the what you take playing advantage.
I don't know if we just got the wrong people. So a number of times they pick and go and they don't get it.
Yeah.
Clear advantage out wide. And I would try and increase the speed of that team with tempo by about 15%.
That was right here. That was the sort of game plan.
Right.
It was like playing the potato.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But it's funny, it's funny as you say that because that's what these guys are doing.
Yeah. Well, the difference is they got 3 big boys at the back. Their fullback is surprisingly good.
By Spotswood United,
Perez is absolutely eating from Stark on the left wing.
Well, you notice that's where they're aiming.
Yeah, exactly. How many fucks did the coach throw on there?
Hey?
How many fucks did the guy throw on there? You didn't hear about that too complicated. Apparently one of the club guys bloody got it.
These guys?
Yeah.
The assistant coach.
Nice, mate. That'd be hard moving up.
Well, they cut. The video got cut.
Oh, they just turn it off or they get rid of it.
No, they cut it.
They burned it.
No, they cut it.
I saw someone after the game was going, delete.
Pretty much.
Well, this is smart enough to do that. I was talking to Liam Bryce, and he said that he touchdown said that he'd thrown multiple punches at the first five. And I didn't throw anything to him. I was trying to break it up. And then so they ran the touchdown during the hearing. The guy, because the first five for Spotswood, the guy Matt, whatever his name was, he said, no, the guy didn't touch me. What, Bobby back up?
Bobby back up. Just talk.
Right, so interesting half-time talk there. The Spotswood coach getting his players on and just maintaining that really the desperation they've got at the moment. And good take there by number 9, good chase by the Spotswood winger. Misses his man. And Old Boy sitting right on the 22. But David Hill, he just nudges it downtown, put up an under, waiting under as the Spotswood fullback. He's had a good game so far already. And charging around to the first 5 has a lock. And he takes the line out. And he tips it over. That one there is a big number 8. Good stick there. It's good about a man in the ruck there for the boys. Good work. Turn the ball over. We've got numbers on the left hand side here.
Box kick.
Two halfbacks really busy today. And kick downtown, straight to the Old Boys fullback. He brings it up. He's got a man outside of him. He steps inside nicely. He's got a bit of speed. Surprisingly speed actually. Runs himself nicely into the flick. And good support play actually by Northcott Hill. And then Old Boys have got massive numbers up here. They can shift the ball. Short line. David Ford just takes the ball up. Just Still a 4-on-2 if they get it. Lovely pass back in to start, and he's just going to run and take on the line. Surely he's got it. And I'm not sure why, but the defensive player for Spotswood just kind of stood on his line, waited for Stark to run at him. Tried to do a smother tackle, no tap, no try, he says he's lost it forward, it's going to be Spotswood's ball 5 out. Possibly could have worked even harder. David Stark just stepped inside. That's more like it from old boys. They're starting to use the ball a wee bit more, they're going a wee bit wider. And they're starting to find a few mismatches and they're finding a few gaps. So this will be a good test of the old boys scrum. 5 minutes out. Down at half time, 21-13, so it's an 8-point advantage to Spotswood. And Spotswood are just going to try and scrum into the penalty by the look of it. The flankers came up and was rebound, and the referee said, yep. An unusual call there. The referee saying that the old boys loose head took the scrum down, but he was on the far side of the scrum, about 15 metres away from the scrum, so must have been a touchy score. Looked a pretty soft penalty, and it's a great nudge from the Spotswood first 5. He's pretty handy, he's got a right and a left foot, Josh Jacob, and he's obviously a very good goal kicker, so he's been a key player so far for Spotswood today. The old boys have got probably more numbers in the league. There's 6 players there and 5 for Spotswood, so you can say straight away. The 6 players the old boys after, and takes them solidly into the line. Good to get up there, good to pull out through sort of space. So, old boys on the line, they went around the other side, good pass there on the ball, was pretty great here. You see the boys Smith inside him, he had a nice, himself under a nice little hole pop pass there, and again he tucked it, each one more to the prop, well the hooker can't do it, he cleaned out though, Spotswood over the ball, well done Spotswood. Wade politely pointed out to the referee that the Spotswood defensive player was bridging, using his knees to brace himself on the old boys player was on the ground. And the referee even more politely said, well, hey, you can go back 10 metres. So once again, a good kick by Jacob. And takes play down to the old boys 10-metre line. Proper Spotswood will be there in a couple of minutes. We'll be back in the play now. So, Sefa over the top. Not a great throw, it's 2 in a row from Spotswood. Making it pretty easy for the old boys. Nothing on there. The old boys. The old boys fullback came back on a 45 and the halfback tried to put it out to the wing start and didn't go anywhere near him, so Spotswood get the same throw in. The Spotswood halfback, Michael Mert, taking a bit of a breather. He's had a couple of heavy knocks. They go to a forming line up this time. Got a kick and play, tremendous kick and play. triple the bounce, and goes to it, and that's a great try. Smart play there from Sean Wade. Took the ball off the back of the line out. He was going to kick straight away, but then held and was able to slip the tackle. Got a push and shove going on at the try line there. The blindside flanker for Old Boys, Jaden Ford is suggesting to the Spotswood fullback that he got out of position. Well, they were just clever play. Just waited until the defence came on, and he put a lovely 30-metre grubber kick through, and well done once again to the Old Boys open side. He chased really hard, and Michael Loft got the bounce and was able to charge over, so it's a good comeback actually, but Spotswood are really disappointed with those line-outs at the moment. I'm not sure if it's the calls or the lifts or the throws, but Matt Goodwin has had a pretty tidy game. He'll be talking to us forwards about trying to get that part of their game right, because at the moment they're just gifting possession to Old Boys. Hill. So a great 7 points actually from Old Boys. They went from the 10-yard line in their own half, and missed throw by Spotswood, went over the top and Wade did the damage, and the score jumps to 21 Spotswood United to 22 Old Boys. Nice stick there from Old Boys. Lock actually took it in and just used a nice bit of footwork to confuse the charging player. High carry there by the Old Boys prop. And facing the pack like Spotswood, you don't carry the high because you get just driven backwards. Well taken by the 15. Good set up actually. Wide pass out to Sifa the prop. Charging run, they duck back to the blind side, feed it up to the big lock. Lovely pass actually from the Old Boy, from the Spotswood on the right actually. But the flanker just tried to do a flick pass and hits the Old Boys player. Not contesting the rock at all, Spotswood might be a bit of a mistake. Hard up on good attention now, we're talking a bit of space out wide. Loft gives a clear call. Takes a good pass up to the number 8, charges up the paddock, taken by the left back behind, tries to do a rip. And over the top, and Spears goes back. Some pressure on there, should be definite pressure on there. Side second run entry from the GM winger. Big spiral downtown, Wade's waiting for that. Takes it as a fingertip, says a look, says okay, we're going to kick it. It'll be a bomb straight down the paddock. Great header through the late. We're mucking it down as a drive on. What's the blind? Past anyone. That was a tremendous run. Great speed. Took 2 big hits on the way. Didn't break his stride at all. So really came from nothing. really happy with that run. That's the run he's waiting for all game actually. He just parked up in the blind side, good quick ball from right there, and he just took off around the old boys winger, around the old boys covering halfback and the centre, and scores himself a 60-metre try, so well done Spotswood.
He did it angled last week as well.
Carries the ball really, really well, that's for sure. And a determined runner. And he's got one player asset that you can't coach, which is pace. So good comeback by Spotswood. Old Boys got a wee bit of ascendance after the start of the second half. And fantastic play there by the big number 8. Fantastic kick once again. Spotswood impressive him today. Really accurate what he does. I like the fact he can kick off both feet and he's got the composure where kicks from wide out. Don't worry him, and he's contributed nicely to the lead that Spotswood have. And they jump to a 28-20 lead, so an 8-point lead for Spotswood. Change for Old Boys where Jaden Ford, who's had a pretty strong game, he comes off, and Wardale Smith's on the flanker. And Spotswood number 18, Jacob Burke, he came on a few minutes ago for good pressure play there by Wardale Smith. He stripped the number 8, wasn't able to tip the ball onto his own player, and Spotswood regained possession. So the referee quite correctly saying that rip ball backwards, so no knock on from Spotswood, and then lost control, and it's a knock on by Old Boys. See what Spotswood have got. They've got their back line stacked up on the left hand side. So if they're going to go anywhere, it must be like an 8-9 or a 9-8, and then try and run prayers in there. Good scrum by Spotswood, just put their heads down and push and push and push. And the referee said, hey listen, we'll get it out the back door, we've got numbers here. Out to the Fijian winger, good chase, great chase over there. Good over the ball by Old Boys there, come back in, there was a penalty advantage from the scrum, and Spotswood zipped down the left hand side. And once again, catch and pass from Spotswood, pretty ordinary, but good pressure there from Old Boys actually. Good scrambling defence. The winger Batanui for Spotswood. He had a big charge down the left hand side but wasn't able to connect up to his inside players. There's a player down on the far side for Spotswood. Looks like their midfielder. He's leaping his way back on, and it was an Old Boys throw that went to no one. Now Hooker, who's done a great job today off the back of the line out, he comes in and cleans up, sets up a midfield ruck, out to the once again out to their big number 8. And he just charges up. Referee saying the drop pass went backwards, which is fair enough, he's right there. And Spotswood just setting themselves up though. Looks like what they're trying to do is use the big power running of their 14 Perez and their number 8 just to punch up outside the ruck. Yeah, nice play, and the 15 skips through. This could be a great try. In fact it is. The referee going to the touchy, but that was just clever play. They fullback just stayed on the left-hand side of the ruck. They called Parisian for the carry, and the referee, definitely scored. So well done, and probably deserved for Therese Ruddy, because he'd been a really lively player. He ran really hard, 30 metres out, and the number 10, it was a strike play because Jacob knew he was there and put in a lovely chip kick behind the Old Boys ruck, and Old Boys were too slow to get back to cover it, and probably weren't aware that Ruddy was ready to strike. So a good try, and it'd be interesting if Spots would have done enough to keep Old Boys at bay. So now jump to, with the kick, they jump to a 15-point lead. It'll be an interesting challenge for Old Boys here, what they've got left in the tank. It's been some pretty physical contact this game. Plenty of running, it's a great kick-off. Nice and deep out to Lemert. Gives it to the right, there's a big charge, well done. Toby Burkett holds him up. Okay, and Locke comes around the side. Finally gets the ground. And Lemert flicks it out to the 10. He goes wide, there's got to be more line speed than that. Good cut-out pass by Lemert. Once again finds a big number 8. He's got Perez on the outside. Yeah, no look pass, well done. He just straight in and does a big carry. I don't think we're going to hold those guys up though. Good recycle. Good skills by Lemert. Puts it over the top. Adam Smith well placed, and big holes opening up here. I'm just going to get in support. The Spotswood player takes out the Old Boys player. They've got the numbers here, if they can get it there. Nice pass from out to Lofty. He hasn't got a lot of support though. Okay, charges the line. It's a net game for. It's going to be a foot-on pass. And got to run on this guy here. So, good play, good cleaning out from Old Boys. Yeah, nice pass. Over the top, Wigan goes back, good pressure there by McBride. Good recovery actually, and Lemert just seeing his big hole back in this right hand corner, and great nudge. So he certainly knows how to control play. Didn't even need to look coming off the back of that ruck, knew where the space was going to be behind the Old Boys winger, and one bounce into touch. Probably about 15-17 minutes to go, and 35-20 at the moment to Spotswood. They've got themselves in a nice position. Just some other half-time scores from around the province. Coastal 29 versus Inglewood 0. Eltham Stratford 18 against Clifton 15. Southern 7 against Two Copper 22. So good carry by the number 8, the Old Boys. The referee calling for incorrect numbers, and Sean Waite says, hey, stop mucking around. Let's get the ball out of the backs. And charge down there by the 12. The fullback's going to go back. He hasn't got. Oh, it's picked up by the 13. And well done, Spotswood. Good pressure, great pressure. They took a quick tap, went open, Old Boys. Not a lot on out there because Regan Burney was under a wee bit of pressure and decided to try and kick. He got charged down by the Spotswood 13, TJ Arney. And, sorry, got charged down by the Spotswood 12, and it was fell into the arms of the 13, TJ Arney, and he crossed the line unopposed. And Spotswood on a roll at the moment. They're just pinning Old Boys kind of in the 30. So it's going to come down to their exit plays to see if they can get field position and a bit of possession. So pretty quiet here at Vogeltown Park. A lot of old boys supporters here today, but not the result they were looking for, and the players look a wee bit shell-shocked. 35-20 at the moment with the kick to come. And that's the first miss of the day for the number 10, Josh Jacob.
Come on, boys, look, get under this, David, get him. Get him, David. Nice, David.
Good pressure there by the winger. And Vernon's finally able to step through. White flicks it out the back door, and the wraparound play by North Cape Hill. And Old Boys got good numbers here. Big pass up to 17. Good carry, and a bit of a flicker. Probably a wee bit high risk play there. So Old Boys reload down this left hand side. McBride bounce past him, and that's a knock on. So a bit of a pity really. He was well wide of the ruck, but really extended the reach there of Waite's pass. It's a bit of a pity really, because Old Boys just starting to load nicely on that left hand side. So Spotswood, 20-point lead, 40-20. Fantastic day so far for them. They're just feeding off Old Boys' mistakes at the moment. They don't have to play a lot of rugby. They just have to tackle and hassle. Good kick by the bird actually, just got this kick away. Moving up, and just smacked into Sean White. The referee calls the penalty, both contesting for the ball. White definitely came off second best. It was a big hit because the Fijian winger lost his scrum cap, and White stays on the ground. So it was interesting scrum that. Spotswood just kicked the ball in because they were scrumming for the penalty. And referee finally said, hey, you've got to use it. And number 8 tripped over his own flanker, did enough to recover the ball. And White just got a well-weighted, Lemert just got a really well-weighted kick-off. Nice high up and under, and it held up long enough for the winger, Batanui, to get under it. And as a result, we've got the Spotswood 10, Josh Jacob, lining up another kick at goal. So he kicked well today. This would probably be one of his easier kicks. Looks a pretty relaxed guy because he takes plenty of time. And ultimately that's why, because he picks up another 3 points for his team. And Spotswood jumped to 43 to New Plymouth Old Boys 20.
They lead 43.
So another change for Old Boys. The hard-working number 9, Sean Waite, is replaced by Brody Lilly.
He's actually still out there. He's replaced someone else.
Oh, my apologies. Wade's actually still on the paddock. I didn't want to jump in the first five. It looks like it's Brayton Hill that's off. And Old Boys put a new halfback on. Badness there. And Spotswood 7, a good flip on play by the 8. Hooker tries to do the big charge. Number 10 has a bit of a nudge. And Spotswood recycling the ball really well, actually. Nice pass to the number 8. Really stylish play, but just robbed by the Old Boys number 8. The Crawls takes at the time, good clean out there from Old Boys. No halfback, getting out to Big Lock. He does a bit of a lollipop pass. And the Old Boys hooker does really well. The Spotswood hooker's over the top. And he strips in, so it's anyone's ball at the moment. Good pass out to 13, he skips through a pass. Tapped down by the Old Boys centre. They're a bit lucky there because they had 3 players down that left-hand side, so it would have been interesting if the pass got over the top of them. And the referee says finally a knock on. So a bit messy at the moment. Players getting a wee bit isolated. Some good technique shown in terms of tackle turnover. I think the terminology now is jackal, but a bit frustrating when teams are wanting to build some phases and the ball's being turned over so often. So the Old Boys have another substitution, number 16. In the 16 jersey. He's coming back off. What they want to do is replace the number 1, Blake Morgan, and he said, hey, I'm fine. It's a good scrum by Old Boys, actually. Wait, the ball just didn't quite get to him, and then despite his gymnastic effort, wasn't able to retain it. A good little kick through. Once again, just a soft possession turnover to Spotswood. And this time the substitution occurs. So it's a very young, it's actually a hooker going in, and the hooker goes to prop. He takes off here, nice pass, lovely ball out to him. He puts the acceleration on. I don't think they're going to get anything more there. He just runs a great 35-metre run, and knew the fullback was going to be slow coming over, and just backed himself to get the try line, and that was a great try. So the number 8 came off, got easy momentum. Old Boys forwards a bit slow coming off the side of the scrum, and Warwick Lemieux showed why he was an international sevens player. Just hit the gap really, really hard, and was aware of how much space he had. And fantastic play. So that's 2 long range tries from Spotswood United. So good on them for having the confidence to back themselves and be able to strike from anywhere. Because that was a great try, 40 metres out. And Old Boys will be playing for pride now. They sort of haven't had this rolling for a while, so Spotswood go to 50, Lemieux gets a rest. And say thanks very much for his contribution today. And Old Boys still on 20, so it's a 30-point game. Good kick off there. Taken by Michael Lott. There's a charge up. Just too slow at the base of that ruck. That's more like it. Good wide pass actually. It's 2 good wide passes. More purpose now from the boys. Good carry from the hooker. Rolls his way up to the 20 metre line. Charge and run there by Lauderdale Smith. Presents the ball well. Old boys reload. And they're coming a bit wider now. And a nice little step through there by hard working number 12. And number 13 today, Ian McBride. Once again, a slow ball. Not really clearing bodies to get to the ball. Good pressure by the 15. A big knock on there by the number 11 for Old Boys, David Starr. It's a pity actually because it's the first time Old Boys in about a quarter of an hour have gone 4 phases. There's a big cheer from the Spotswood supporters as they roll on 2 substitutions. So it'll be interesting what impact this has on the Spotswood scrum. It's been dominant most of the day. So Old Boys trying to open up the game now, and just took it on his hip. Looks like they're able to recycle the ball. Spotswood about 3 metres offside. The centre's sitting offside, big time right in front of us. Good carry there by Burkett. And Old Boys clean out. That hooker actually just driving there, saw the ball was his. Got to fight a little harder on the ground. And Wake goes hard at the line. So finally the ball out to Carrington. He always does pretty well at recycling the ball. And Wake's coming up with a massive hit. Everyone's jumping up and down because he's starting from an offside position. It's a big hit on Wake. Good offload, good pass actually. Just well to keep it on. The Spotswood defending quite well actually, keeping their distance. They've got numbers here at the moment. Old Boys, Wake's just backing himself now. Straight in, it's going to be a catch and pass, and not needed. So well done, Old Boys. Trying to try that, they're working really hard. The catch and pass is a lot better, and what they're able to do is spread that Spotswood defence, and without Lemur on the paddock, Spotswood don't look quite as organised behind that once they break the line.
Try to BCD group from the Old Boys.
And that was much better play.
Watching minus 50. BCD group from the Old Boys. 25 with a kick to come.
No tackles about 3 or 4, he just let them go.
And the number 13 for Old Boys. then Pride knocks it over. So Old Boys playing for Pride at the moment. It's possibly about 6 minutes to go, and they chip back a try. So 50-27, 23-point game. They look like they're prepared to actually open things up a little bit, Old Boys, and start spreading the ball a bit. Great kick-off, actually, good length. Well taken by Old Boys. Good defensive pressure there from Spotswood. And a pick and go by the big fella. That's a much better pass, 2 long passes, actually gets it wide here. Run hard into the hole. Once again, Spotswood still just drifting offside in the middle of the park. Good break there by He's puts the hammer down, and good offload there, right offload actually. Can't be repeated by the lock. He tried hard. Good offload there, and it's out to the 15, and he's got real wheels. This guy's going to have a go on the outside. Nudges off Sean Wake. Not many guys get to do that. And has control of the ball out to the 10. He flicks it back in. Out to Rover. He does a lovely pass to the 17. So a great open game at the moment now. And Rover, great pass actually. 20-metre pass out to the middle. Good defensive pressure on the winger. Get over the ball. Good play there by the 13 actually. Just does a little nudge through. Out to Lauderdale Smith, and finally a bit of a clean up there. They've just actually just got to set themselves, carry strong, set themselves a good rip play there by the 10. He's had a really strong game actually. He's willing to move the ball and not scared to take it up, and looks for offloads the tackles. Looks like he's got a good all-round game. And nice little chip through to the 15. And recovered well by the Old Boys number 8. Good clean out there actually, right on the goal line. So what's Old Boys going to do from here? They've got a Lucy going around. They've got to do a pick and go because there's nothing else on for them. And the touch judge is calling for a knock on. So that's more like it from Old Boys. Bit of a surge there, gives themselves a metre, they're a couple of metres away from the goal line. And a strip there that gives Spotswood the ball. And they're charging into it now. The referee says, hey, no advantage, he's double lock on, he blows a full-time whistle. So wow, what a game here at Rugby Park. Spotswood turned up to play. The CMK Premier Division game. And well done Spotswood United, who got through to 50 points to Plymouth Old Boys 27. Thanks for everyone for their support today, and best wishes for the teams through to the finals.